So hello, this is an interview with Lord Miles, who has just come back
Shalom.
from 8 months in custody in Taliban, Afghanistan.
Yeah.
And for people who don't know, you can go check out Miles' YouTube channel, Royal Lord Miles. I went to him with, on a trip to Afghanistan once upon a time.
As you do, yeah.
And I thought we'd just have a quick interview about what happened, because it's been quite the tale, as far as I understand.
It's been a lovely holiday, man, honestly.
So I'll tell you what happened from my perspective, and we'll go from chronological order, I think,
Okay.
to make sense. So I was chilling. I knew you headed off there, and
Yeah.
I got a message from our mutual contact. It was like, "Hey, have you seen him?" I was like, "No, I thought he was with you." And then he was like, "Well, we meant to meet, but he didn't turn up for some reason." So then we started panicking. I contacted some guys, and then we started thinking, "Oh god, he's been kidnapped. Maybe ISIS has taken him. Maybe ransom people." So then we were figuring out, could we get people to track you down? What information could we get?
Don't worry, man. Me and ISIS have a mutual understanding. They leave me alone, I leave them alone. You know, real recognise real. No, if I wanted, I would turn ISIS into was.
So that's not true.
I declare war on ISIS. My home address is.
The only channel where you get fat was against ISIS.
So true, man. I just give the address of my enemy's house.
So I found out that you'd gone missing, and so we tried to figure out what happened, and eventually, thankfully, we found out from a group chat message you'd sent that you were detained by the Taliban.
Happens to the best of us, to be fair. When you just pop down to Afghanistan with your mates and you need to get detained, it happens every day, to be fair.
Well, we honestly were panicking. We were like, "Oh crap! If he's wead or needs money, like we're gonna have to sort something out."
Yeah.
But because you were taken by the Taliban, most of us were like, "Oh, thank Christ!"
Yeah.
Because they're not gonna kill you.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. No, I'm joking. They're chill. They're chill. Much happy to do a GoFundMe to get released. Jeez, man, I need to post bail.
So in your natural style, when you sent this message about being like, "Aha, being arrested by the Taliban," so you guys
took selfies.
Yeah, you sent selfies as well. We were like, "Okay, hope that goes well." So I suppose that's where it stops off for me for a while. So I suppose you could take a story from there. What happened?
Yeah, so basically I went to a Western Union. I took out $1,000. I had a house in Kabul, as you do. You're just renting a house in Kabul. Really good market right now, better than the English housing market anyway. So I need to pay rent, took the money out because you can't use ATMs there, and $1,000 suspicious amount, that's like half a year's salary. So it was like taking out £20,000 in England equivalent. So when did that happen? They arrested me, pointed guns at me and everything, and were like, geez man, why do you got all this cash? What are you doing? You're funding terrorism. You're doing something with money laundering, all the things. And I was like, no, I'm just buying up Taliban.
I'm just a goof.
Yeah, I'm just goofing off. I'm just the average everyday traveling Taliban merch salesman. You know me. Like, you must follow me on Twitter. Some of them actually did in the end, funnily enough. And they had a report from the Russian government saying, geez man, this geezer might be like selling weapons from Afghanistan that the Americans left behind to Ukraine. So that happened, and I was like, no, I'm not a weapons dealer. Otherwise, I wouldn't be taking out just £1,000. You know what I mean? It's like
I'm here to buy a helicopter.
It's like, I'm like, how much? So they wanted to see if I was a soldier. They're like, hey, this guy's military age. We need to check. So we go, Miles, here's an M16. I go, all right, mate, holding it. And they go, test if it's loaded. Show us how would you check if it was loaded. So I go, all right, turn off the safety. I point at the Taliban's head. Click. And I go, okay. And I click. And I go, and they just start laughing their asses off. They think it's really funny. We also bring in an RPG, and they say, how do you fire this? And I said, you see this pin here, you just smash against something with everyone in the room. And they were like, okay, it's enough of that, Mars, enough of that.
Is this the moment? Because I've seen some of the pictures where they're like reading your book and hanging out with you. Is it at that point?
Well, should we get it up? I'll show them. Should I show them on the screen?
I think it might be more trouble, but if you can do it, that's cool.
Yeah, man, I'm a whiz of technology. It's like
you can load up a phone picture.
I can load up a picture in like 2 minutes. I gotta look through all my really offensive memes.
But so they detain you on the suspicion of you have too much money. Yeah,
this guy might be dodgy. We got that Russian report. We need to do investigation. We need to do the due diligence. They need to check. We're just chill, to be fair. I get that. I'm just a goofy guy, a little goofball, a little shenanigan-filled man. So,
but then how does that turn into you staying there for that long, and what happened?
That's me chilling with the Taliban, dude. Do you see that? It's real, by the way.
Hopefully it's not that bad.
Real, recognise it's real. 100%.
Don't get too close. I might
Yeah, just zoom into my nostrils still. But
So-
yeah, the Taliban read my book, by the way. Buy it. I need to pay rent, guys. I'm homeless now. All good stuff. Yeah.
So what happens after that?
So after that, they're like, okay, we go interrogate you some more, mate. Do some general questions. You know, you seem chill. You seem like a nice guy, lovely guy. But fair enough. We got to figure out who you are, why you've come to Afghanistan 5 times in 2 years. And they're like, why do you sell Taliban merch? I was like, good money. And they're like, yeah, but how? Why? Who buys it? I'm like, autistic people. And they were like, okay. They're like, we want to see your store. And they saw it. They saw me selling Taliban merch. They're like, mashallah, this man is spreading a good message in Afghanistan. I'm like, hell yeah, man, good stuff. And then they also questioned me and my friends who were with me. And my friend James, he fumbles up. He wasn't a good friend. He goes to a Taliban and goes, Miles might be a spy. So that causes me a lot of problems. I'm not Mossad Miles. I'm just, missing Miles at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just travelling. I'm not a spy. Working in intelligence requires intelligence. Trust me, I'm lacking that 100%. I think I'm retarded. Anyway, so they detain me. My other 2 friends get deported after day 13. And I'm just chilling there and they keep questioning me. They go, Miles, we know you're a spy. Just tell us. We'll let you go. And they go, Miles, we know you're a spy, man. You're wasting our time. Just admit it, man. And we'll sort out this whole process. You'll be here half a year. You'll go. Miles, man. We got evidence you're a spy. If not, you're going to have some real problems. Or, Miles, we know you're a spy. But, we want to learn your tricks, man. We need to learn the trade. You teach us. We let you go. Pinky promise. It was like that stuff. And
Anything
I was like,
to figure out if you're actually.
Yeah. And I was like, yeah, I respect the grind, my friend, but I'm not a spy. Fair enough, And they literally brought up a tweet saying, hey Miles, you literally tweet here that you belong to Mossad, CIA, MI6. I was like, yeah, but that's just LARP, isn't it? It's a joke. And they were like, yeah, to be fair. Yeah, she admitted it. They were like, yeah, the guy actually said, yeah, we were stretching on that one. Sorry, Miles. I was like, yeah, it's okay. So yeah, a friend wouldn't tweet it,
So at this point, just to give you some idea of what's going on at home, we're like talking to the Foreign Office and whatnot, and be like, yeah, he's really in trouble. If you could help him, that would be great. And I'd spend 70 quid on a phone call, sitting here, calling the embassy in Qatar, and having to explain who you were, your last name, your relationships, what you were doing there.
I'll pay you back, man. I'm very sorry.
They were just like, is he a moron? And I'm like,
I'll pay you back. I'm sorry, man. I'm so sorry. Sorry, this is for Mossad money, gotta get on that.
Oh, of course.
Israeli grind set, I know we did zero, I promise. The last
well, now your bank account's all frozen.
My bank account got frozen. I'm working cash and crypto, so I look like a drug dealer when I walk around London. So paying in cash for everything.
So we're still doing all that, and I'm going to say this, I think I'm allowed to, because the situation is a little bit complex, some stuff I can't say, but the lady I'm speaking to, I get an email back, she's taking on the case.
Wait, lady, she's single.
But the lady who takes on the case, I get an email from her, she's got pronouns in the bio. And I was just like, oh, please take this seriously, I really hope you're a serious person. But no, I don't know about you, I look at that and I think...
I think it's so over, man.
Ideological stuff.
Afterwards, what I found out, one of the main people handling my case was in a huge controversy 2 years earlier. And she basically said, we are under no obligation to help any British person in trouble abroad, even if they've been kidnapped by a terrorist organisation. So I was like, they put her in charge of my case. Oh, dude, I am going to be here so many years. Like, but...
So at what point did you find this out? Because they figure out you're not a spy, and then you're kind of a guess.
Yeah, they're like, oh, right, they're like, you Miles, you're chill, you're not Mossad Miles, you're mediocre Miles, you're chill, man. You're chill. We like your vibe. They're like, we like your Twitter. You've been here 5 times. You said some honest stuff, some good stuff. We actually like that stuff. You make some good YouTube videos. A lot of us actually realise we follow you on Twitter. And of course, the Taliban intelligence follow me on Twitter. Normal life. What a timeline. And then they go.
I do wonder how many intelligence services are subscribed to you.
Hopefully a ton, man. I mean, to be fair, at least my own intelligence people work for me. It is fun of me.
Of course,
100%, man. If you're making a joke, someone's going to take it seriously one day.
This is one of the weird... I think it's a generational thing, but it's extreme in your circumstance. There's a massive disconnect between irony and, like J-Ray called it, like, post-irony or whatever, where it's, like, 3 layers of irony and it gets stupid.
Yeah,
so it's hard to tell sometimes when you're joking.
I'm joking?
Okay.
I'm kidding.
Anyway, so you're no longer a spy.
They transfer me to a guest house, lovely stuff. It's not a prison. It's actually just a normal house, renovated, quite nice. Not up to Western standards, but it's pretty decent. And they go, okay, Miles, you're arrested with $1,000. Here's your $1,000 back. You can spend it whilst you're here. I'm like, that's a lot of money in Afghanistan. That goes a long way. A packet of crisps in Afghanistan, 5 pence. So imagine having $1,000 on you. Oh. And then, yeah, exactly.
How many crisps can I buy?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I could buy, like 20,000 crisps? I mean, I could fill the room with crisps if I wanted to sleep on the crisps, Just stimulate the local economy. It's like, hey, because that guy's ordering 20,000 crisps in Central Kabul.
This is, I think, the most unbelievable aspect, but it is true, because I was able to, keep up with some of what was happening. And we were all, the people who all came together to try and figure out what happened in the initial circumstances.
Yeah.
They were all in a group chat, basically.
Oh, yeah.
Any updates about the other 2 prisoners or yourself?
They were solid, yeah.
Great guys if they're watching. And so then we start finding out some of the funny stories, frankly, because as much as being detained for 8 months isn't fun,
it actually kind of was.
You kind of did goof off quite a lot.
I goofed off a lot, man. I think I was the goofiest guy in Afghanistan. They called me Goof Off Miles. They actually called me Lord Miles, by the way, as a sign of respect. So I thought that was great, man.
So I don't know what you can and can't share. So I'll let you tell the story.
So the first, So the first thing was, they said, okay, Miles, to be fair, you didn't have a permit to go to this area. I was actually opening a gold mine in Afghanistan, as you do. So we've got drop shipping, we've got rental investments. I'm on the next stage of this evolution of financial freedom, and it's opening a gold mine in third world countries. It's really 1800s goofing off. Anyway, so I was opening a gold mine in Afghanistan. I didn't have a permit that I needed. That's my fault. I apologise for Taliban for that. But it's a small issue. They're like, yeah, it's chill. It happens. We're gonna keep you for a few months. Very sorry about this whole thing, but it's political, whatever. But we're gonna keep you cushy, man. We're gonna keep you cushy. Here's your laptop. Go and watch some movies. The Taliban guys will bring you any movie you put on the list. You're allowed a Bible on there. You're allowed your music. You can chill. So I was just listening to System of a Down with the Taliban, and even ABBA too. They really do like ABBA. It's solid. I love ABBA too. I mean, I feel like a homosexual listening to it, but it hits, to be fair. It really does. Anyway, so I saw.
So you kind of end up making friends with Taliban intelligence,
as you do, man, as you do.
Because they're the guys who are keeping you.
Yeah. So as they were interrogating me too, every time they came into my room, I would say, "Welcome to my office. Take a seat. I'll be with you in a second." And they were like, "This bloody guy, he's kind of funny." And as well, you kind of think you have to kind of get into their mindset. Every other detainee is annoying as hell. Why would you want to befriend them? I was trying to be chill. I'm a chill guy. So they, some of the Taliban come in and they go to each guy and go, "What do you need?" And all the guys, I want 5 cigars and I want and they give a big list and they bitch and moan. With me, when they come in, they're like, "What do you want, Miles?" And I go, "Nah, I'm good, man. I'm good. No problem. Mushkin nishta." And they're like, "No problem?" And they start laughing. We're just chilling, we're fist bumping, we're high fiving.
Because you started learning Pashto.
Yeah, I started learning some Pashto. I would just be like, "Hey, I've got no problem, man. You're worried about yourself, dudes. I'm chill right here." I was like arm wrestling with them. I watched Barbie 2023 with them, that Barbie movie with Ryan Gosling in. I watched Titanic with the Taliban. We networked a little bit. And then the Taliban were like, "Hey, this guy's opening a gold mine. He seems chill. He's obviously not a spy. He could be a friend of ours. He could be chill. He could be a friend of Afghanistan." So they were like, "Let's vibe with Miles." So I would be invited to numerous picnics where I was sitting in this gazebo, the Afghan sun was beating on my head. There was like several gardeners in this beautiful tropical garden. And it's surrounded by peacocks too. So I'm just sitting there drinking my chai, like, what a shitpost, mate. And they're just chilling with me. And then I hear Miles tells about the gold mine, tells about business stuff, and I'm pitching to them my business ideas.
Can you say who you're hanging out with?
Yeah, I'm hanging out with like some ministers, like some top commanders of the government, like some real big G's, you know what I mean?
So the government cabinet are just like, "Hey, we have like this white guy imprisoned. He's pretty funny. You want to hang out with him?"
Yeah, they were like, "Yeah, this guy's got some good ideas. We're always open to business in Afghanistan. We don't want to miss out on an opportunity. This guy wants to come here and do big business. By the way, guys, that gold mine will be worth $200 million. So it's not me just coming and saying I want to start digging. It's like it's a solid investment. I used to work in investment banking somehow back when I filtered out my autism. You know what I mean? It's
nice to meet an investment banker. It's
yeah, best
good to know what you
more
actually
like an investment wanker. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I hate those people. Bunch of narcissists. You just have to be autistic in the end. But anyway, they were like, "Actually, Miles, you're doing some big business. You wrote a book about us." They read the book, by the way. And they were like, "This is solid work." They were like, "This is actually one of the few journalists we actually like in Afghanistan. You're top G." And I was like, "You're top T." Taliban. Anyway, they were like, "Hey, you're Twitter's big, man. You're saying good stuff. That's great. Hey, you met Andrew Tate. That's cool stuff. And they learned more about me. And they said, yeah, this guy's chill. This is our man. This is our guy. And they want, because the Chinese have so much land in Afghanistan up north through the Belt and Road Initiative, they said, okay, the Chinese have too much control over the gold and mineral business. We need a foreigner. But of course, no American or European mining businesses would actually come to Afghanistan because they've done business with America and NATO. So therefore, they're non-eligible. So only this retard is actually there to do any work. So I'm the guy. I'm the guy basically to open an Afghan gold mine.
Because business goes ahead. I mean, this is one of the things I tried to explain. Like, you have a business interest in this stuff. It's not just...
No, every time I go to Afghanistan, I could make about £20,000 sometimes.
And if you make a gold mine, it's...
if I make a gold mine, it's millions a year. No joke, it's millions a year. It's not overly complex. All the data's there. The US government did geological surveys, took core samples, and they said, 16 grams per ton in this area, and that's like, that's an insane amount of gold. So you process 8 tons an hour, 10 hours a day, 6 days a week, about 40 weeks a year, and the gold price, $50,000 an hour, you're profiting at least a few $1 million a year. So it's like, it's my retirement plan. No S&P 500, just Taliban gold mine.
So at this point, we're kind of panicking. Like, in a group chat, we're like, man, is he okay? I wonder if he's going through, they reckon they're doing this or that to him. And then we managed to get a piece of contact from you that you'd been on these picnics. And we all pissed ourselves laughing.
Oh, did you?
We were like, oh my god, he's actually done the... Because at the side point...
He's lost.
Because we were joking, we were like, man, I bet he's being, badly treated. And then we're like, no, I bet he's like their leader at this point. And then we find that out, and we're like, what the hell?
Yeah, it's like, I'm just chilling with him, man. It actually got to one point where I put a pitch deck, like a presentation on my laptop on PowerPoint, and I went to the conference room and there was some Taliban sitting there, and I was presenting it to them like, hey, if we do this, it's really good for the economy, but if you do that, it's genius. And I'm presenting this whole idea, and I'm just taking notes like, oh fuck yes. Yeah.
So this is what a question I have, because I remember at some point, I think it was the economics minister or the tourist minister, I don't know, for the new Taliban government, gave a speech where he said, we've destroyed all the opium in Afghanistan, and in fact, and they did. They're going to replace the opium trade with tourism, and obviously this exploded. Because people were like, what the hell?
Yeah. So I honestly, I went to some of these.
But I got a phone call from a guy in the Times, and we did an interview about it because he heard this and he was like, I want to speak to people.
Yeah, man.
Were you the one that caused that minister to say that?
I did highlight the fact as something very important Taliban that, hey guys, you're not going to be a main exporter. Your other countries next to you are more industrialized, and they've obviously got a bigger population, so you're never going to be profitable on the exports, especially because your currency, you're trying to improve the value of it. So if you want to export, you need to devalue your currency. It's very complex. I point out a bunch of reasons why it wasn't a good thing. I said, why do you just invest in tourism and invest in minerals at the moment? Because to be fair, if a foreigner comes to Afghanistan, if you get 1 million foreigners a year and they each bring $1,000, that's a lot of money. So I was like, why not just focus on that, man? Just become tourism friendly. It's really easy to set up. I can help you. I was like, you don't even have a tourism website. Like, I can help. Like, I can set up a Shopify for you if you need. I'm gonna do some drop shipping. But I was like, set up a website.
Selling little magnets.
Yeah, I started pitching to them. I was like, hey, I can set up a website for you. And they literally said to me, we don't know this stuff. We don't know how. I'm like, I'm your guy. I'm sure I can help you out constantly. And I'm helping them set up a tourism company as well. Right now.
So are you, because you're going back, you've come home, but you are returning now.
Yeah, they're chill, man. They were like, you could come back anytime. I did all these picnics. I went to the water park with the Taliban, as you do. And then obviously I was just chilling and I was writing my book, and they were happy with me. I was happy with them. I was like, yeah. Crappy circumstances, but a lot of these men can't release me. It's not to them, so they just give me the best circumstances, given the situation. So whatever, it's chill. So I made the best out of a potentially bad situation and made it a good one. And as I was a few weeks before leaving, they said, "All right, Mars, you're that guy. You're a man.
You're a top guy.
Yeah, you're a top guy, man. You're the bridge. You're the bridge between the Afghan and British government, man. You're the one." And he said, "Okay, when you come back, man, we're gonna lay the groundwork for you for the gold mine. We're gonna help you out there. maybe help us out back. No jokes. But he said, "Look, we're going to give you a certificate from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and also our intelligence services saying Miles is honorary member of Mujahideen. He can literally not be stopped, searched, questioned, and he's
blah, blah, blah.
yeah, blah blah blah. He's basically got immunity. Anyone who does anything beyond verifying his documents that involves stopping Miles will be imprisoned themselves, and he has like contact with the commander who's issued it. So I've got I can't say N-word pass for Afghanistan, can I? I've got
You've got a diplomatic seal, essentially.
yeah, basically I've got goofing off permit.
If that's what you got to call it, all right.
Yeah, goofing off.
Mujahideen license,
and, yeah,
really.
basically, just imagine going to the British airport. Yeah, I'm Mujahideen. Yeah, let me go. And he also, one of them, I don't know how serious he was, but he said, "Oh, we can offer you Afghanistan citizenship." And I said, "Oh, that's something a spy would do." And he went, But I was thinking to myself, "Oh, jeez, man, if I get Afghanistan citizenship, I can go to like Oxford University and go, hey, I've got no qualifications. I'm actually mentally really stupid. Like my IQ is like way down there, and I've got no work experience. Like I just don't even question what I do. But I'm an Afghan immigrant, and I'll be like, oh, come and study with us. Here's a scholarship."
I'm your diversity guy.
Yeah, I'm
your top diversity guy.
Yeah, I'm your top diversity guy. I really appreciate because it's so hard coming from where I am, and it's a really dangerous place I came from. They're like, "Oh, did you come from Good I'll be like, "No, Birmingham, mate. London," as well. But the Taliban invited me back. They were chill. They treated me really well. They said, "You're a brother. You're a guest." And I was like, "Yeah, this is solid. To be fair, they're my Tally bros, not my Tally foes. They're Tally chads." Yeah,
this is how you see it, yeah.
Yeah, man. Most of them were from Jalalabad, but they're more like Jalalabad.
Okay.
Yeah,
I feel like we're getting into a bit too much memes.
Yeah, no pun guys, Yeah.
So I don't know if you can. I don't know which stories I'm allowed to bring up. But are there any specific stories from your time there?
Should we speak about one of the prisoners, the fun man, the cuckoo man?
Sure, go for it.
Yeah. So I can't tell details, of course, guys. It's all confidential. I gotta respect Taliban. National security. That's a real thing, man. Don't laugh. Nothing.
I'm not laughing.
Okay. But basically, there was this guy, and he was from the US, and he basically a day into my prison, he came in, and I saw him. I was like, "Yeah, what's up, my friend? What's up? What are you in here? What's happened to you?" I'm still trying to get answers at this point. He goes, "Yo, fuck white people! What the fuck are you doing here, man? Why are you talking to me, man? I am a terrorist. I am ISIS. I am Daesh. I will kill you." N-words. You keep using the N-word a lot.
He's a black American?
Yeah. And I was just like, whoa. And then the Taliban came in and was like, "Hey, what's going on? Why is this shouting?" And he sucker punches the Taliban. The Taliban dude's like, "What the hell?"
He's a prisoner too, right?
Yeah, he's a prisoner too. They obviously arrest him and restrain him because this guy's a danger himself, full on schizophrenic. And I started talking to him because he's in the same house as me, so I started talking to him. And I'm like...
He speaks English.
Yeah, he's American, he speaks English. I'm like, "What were you doing here?" And he's like, "Oh man, I came because I'm an American Mujahideen." I'm like, so true. But he said, "I'm American Mujahideen and I came to join ISIS." I was like, "All right, mate." And he goes, "You're right, but like you are my enemy." I'm like, "Okay." And then he goes, "Yeah, I also came to marry the child. I was gonna pay like the dowry of a few $1,000s to marry like a 5-year-old girl." And then he went into detail. Then he looked very nervous, like sweating balls. And he said, "I wasn't gonna do anything to her. I wasn't gonna, fuck her." And I was there like, "All right." And he just like, looks really nervous, like darting eyes and stuff,
like proper mental case.
Yeah, like he's like, I think he was probably a pedo. He said he wanted to do that so he get Afghan citizenship, and I told him, mate, I was like, you don't get citizenship through marriage in Afghanistan, right? And he just starts sweating even more. He's like, "Oh fuck, he's discovering what I was doing." So he was trying to join ISIS, trying to marry a child, and then I found out like he was in prison previously in Thailand, and I was like, "What were you in prison for?" And he starts sweating again, and acting really nervous, and wiping away his sweat. He goes, It wasn't trying to marry a child or anything." I'm like, "Were you trying to have sex with an underage girl?" And he was just sweating again. He's like, "Let's not talk about it." So I'm like, this guy is like a pedo. He's trying to join ISIS, and he's just clinically insane, right?
And then turns up to Afghanistan to join the Mujahideen.
Yeah. Also, he tried to join the Taliban as well. Apparently.
So they just instantly arrested him.
Yeah. So like, ISIS is our enemy. People don't know. ISIS is a huge enemy of the Taliban. The Taliban do not like ISIS and they have eliminated them from Afghanistan, and rightfully so. I've seen it happen. I'll talk about that in a second too, remind me.
Sure.
Yeah, but basically one of the commanders, which I'm friends with, he's really chill, he's actually a really good man. He came into the house and invited this man upstairs, and the man upstairs was like, hello, Taliban commander, can I have more information about Islam? He's like, and he goes, brother, you've had an English Quran, which is your only form of entertainment, for like 6 months at this point. What more do you want to know? He goes, I just need to learn more about it. And he goes, what's your favourite verse? And he can't remember a single one after 6 months of having nothing but a Quran on him. So it's like, this guy comes to be Muslim, and he just can't recite one single verse of the Quran. He was just trying to join ISIS. So he's like either the worst US asset I've ever met, or he's like just honestly schizophrenic. And
it's like clinically insane.
Yeah, like clinically insane. It was really fun. It was like schizo posting. And then I speak to him again. I'm like, how you doing, man? What's up? He goes, yeah, really good. The chip that Joe Biden put at the end of my penis, inside my brain, inside my skull. So he's actually claiming Joe Biden just kidnapped him, did like real surgery on him. The chip in both my bell end and in my brain, it's degrading, because of the power of the Muslim God, So they're like, the Joe Biden can't send signals to my brain anymore and tell me to kill myself. They're trying to kill me, And he goes, then he claims, I'm Michael Jackson's long lost son, and I'm a great rapper. I'm the biggest musician in America right now, but people don't know where I am. They're looking for me. I'm like, okay, so like if I Google your name,
so
it will come up. I'm like, if I Google your name, it'll come up. He's like, yeah, exactly, man. I'm worth like hundreds of millions of dollars. The US government wants to kill me because I'm funding a 9/11 on the Burj Khalifa. I'm like, why would you do that? Because it's like it's a Muslim country and a Muslim structure. And he's like, just starts keep rambling. He's like foaming at the mouth at this point.
So you had good company. You had a clinically insane American.
I kind of enjoyed it. Half my book at this point is his psychological analysis, no joke. And then he goes to Taliban commander. He goes, hey, I'm American Mujahideen. And even the Taliban like, my friend, there was no American Mujahideen. What are you on about, mate? And he's like, nah, I am it. And the Taliban are like going to me, like, this guy's insane. I was like, yeah. And we're just,
he's getting me out of here.
Yeah, I'm just like, we're just talking to him, and he goes, he's like, Taliban commander, I do not want to be deported when I get released. I want to live here. And they're like, yes, mate, you will stay, no problem. And he's going to be, he's like, no, he's going to be sent home, Yeah. Just like, he's a worse asset. I'm like, yeah.
I mean, even if he was a spy, there's no way.
He's just
but if he was, I think, if you're the Taliban, you're just going to deport him because he's a pain in the ass, frankly.
At first, too, because he said, like, he hears voices in his brain, he has chips in his head, but Taliban actually got, like, a metal detector over him, and, like, was scanning him to see if he has some next level, SIM card in his brain. It was really interesting, man. There was a chill guy. Oh, we talk about the ISIS guy as well.
Sure, so that's one of your friends that you made.
Man. Sometimes too, in the house, so there was other prisoners that would come and go. Some of them released, some of them sent to a more serious prison when they were found guilty. I was chilling in this place. This is like a halfway house.
It's like, like a safe house.
Yeah, like a halfway house before, like, we're going to keep you comfortable, unless if you found guilty, then you used to get sent to an actual jail.
Yeah.
But they were like, Marja, chill, no problem. But I would also have loads of Afghans come in, and they weren't like working with Taliban. They were actual real prisoners, and they would come in and go, "Hey man, I'm." They would go, "Hey man, I'm CIA. My number is." And I would be like, "What the fuck are you talking about, mate?" And they were like, "Hey, you're American, you're CIA, MI6." I'm like, "No, mate, I'm literally just an idiot. I'm selling Taliban merch, And they were like, "Oh yeah, don't tell them, keep up good."
Oh, forget all of that.
They were like, yeah. And I was like, I just met loads of CIA people. It turns out they get paid $400 a month to like risk their lives to find ISIS.
Are these American guys? Or?
Yeah, like they're Afghan Americans, so
okay.
It's kind of mixed. I guess to get hired or something, or they were people that were, previously with the US government, I guess. So that's a bit goofy. That's a little bit silly. I met one old man who seemed really sweet, biggest smile, and they were like, "Yeah, this man made bombs and then would blow up the Americans and then could solve them on." Actually, what's the thing where you're defusing bombs? So this man would plant the bombs and then alert the Americans that there was a bomb and then get paid to defuse his own bomb. Like, it was like, I was like, oh. So I was there like, oh,
You know those YouTube shorts that are like, you know, fake strongmen and the grind set music.
Yes. I sped up and stuff. Yeah.
Sigma male tip number 5,000.
This guy was like 70 years old.
Oh, that is so stupid.
Yeah. The other thing too, there was as well, I was once having a indoor meal with some Taliban in one of the headquarters. You know, it was chill. We were talking about business. We were making jokes. You know, and then suddenly someone gets news that someone's been arrested, and apparently it's a big deal. So everyone's getting up. Everyone's going to the door. A guy suddenly walks in, and he looks very Afghan. You know, big beard. But he could pass the Taliban. So I see him. I go, oh, hello, my friend. How you doing? Salam. And they go, no, Miles, no, do not shake his hand. He is a prisoner. He is ISIS. I'm like, oh, I just shook a hand with a member of ISIS. Yeah, so I just pushed him away. I'm like, yeah, no.
Well, I'm only friends with the Taliban, not ISIS.
Yeah. I'm not a big ISIS supporter.
So this is before we go further. This is actually one of my regrets. So I'll let you finish.
You didn't shake a member of ISIS's hand.
No. When we spoke to the Taliban Commander in Independence Day, their parade.
Oh yeah.
I'd love to have get them to explain on camera the difference between them and ISIS.
Yeah.
Because for people like us, we just hear that they're both.
Yeah, man. Well, I explained some of the difference. I remember I said I was going to do that for you, but sorry, got arrested.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically, ISIS are just very fundamentalist, where they just think everyone who's not them deserves to die, basically.
And the Taliban are more
the
like...
Taliban are actually
government.
a little bit more liberal. They actually are a little bit more liberal.
Yeah.
But Taliban watch TikTok and stuff, they're chill. You know,
they don't think literally everything is...
Yeah, 20 years ago, you know, the Taliban were smashing TVs, now they're all watching TikTok videos. You know, they're watching YouTube and some movies occasionally.
Zuma Taliban.
Yeah, there's some of them chilled out, you know, some of them a bit more...
So you're hanging out with those guys, those are the jailers. And then this guy turns up.
Yeah, this guy turns up, ISIS, and his dad got killed by ISIS when he joined ISIS or something, so this guy's a little bit crazy, of course.
I'll be honest, none of the people you meet ever seem sane.
yeah. So true. I can... If someone told me, Miles, you're sitting in an empty room talking to yourself, there's not even a camera there, I'll be like, yeah, actually, to be fair, I can believe that. But honestly, they did a really good job. They showed me the interrogation, so actually, Miles, you're here, if you want to stick around, you can watch it. They questioned him. They did everything by the book. They did the really solid judicial
process.
Yeah, they did the process. You know, they did it all professional like. That's my words.
Only the most professional judicial services from Taliban.
No, it was actually solid, to be fair. I was watching it and I thought it was going to be some really crude stuff, but they were very systematic with things. They took everything.
So did you interact with this guy again, or was it?
He just like glancing at me, and the interrogator was like, "Hey, look at me." Because it's like, not like I'm the captain now, but it's just like, look at me. You know, I can see that you're thinking about it, yeah.
Well, I was thinking more what's going through this guy's head.
Well,
because he's joined ISIS, he's an Afghan guy.
Yeah.
Gets arrested by the Taliban. And is like chained up or something, and looks over and sees them being like, "Hey, this white guy."
There's some white dude from England to speak English. He's like, "Oh, fuck."
Yeah, this guy's our friend. You though, you're evil.
Yeah.
I mean, just his worldview. I mean, he is mental, but still.
The Taliban did turn to me and go, "Hey, these guys are monsters. We do not like them in our country. We want our country safe. We have eradicated the ISIS from our country when the Americans left." And it's true though, in Jalalabad, which is Jalalabad, they killed 200 ISIS members and they wiped ISIS off with the entire area. And the only reason they're able to capture ISIS right now is ones that are trying to jump the border to come in. But the Taliban are actually on the ball with this, so they just cut it off.
Yeah. And
they interrogate these people and obviously imprison them or deport them back to Pakistan or Iran. So it's pretty solid, but it was like, yeah, I got to shake a member of ISIS' hand. It was pretty chill, man. Shit happened.
Well, until you learned that he was a bad guy.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's just kind of funny. You know, it's one of those just things you get to talk about occasionally and scare off the hoes on Tinder. He was like, "Hey, you love to travel to? Haha, yes, same. You love to go to war zones in Afghanistan."
Do you have? Because you've got these pictures now, which are even more, I think, meme-worthy than the previous pictures of you.
Oh, yeah.
So you're gonna add those to your Tinder profile?
I don't think I'll be approved, to be honest. I banned myself from Tinder on purpose so I wouldn't have to talk to women. So what I did was I set my birthday as like being the same day as signing up to Tinder. So it's like you can sign up again in 18 years time. You know?
Okay.
Yeah, because it's a weird thing. If you submit your date of birth wrong, they just actually ban you till the IP ban you on your phone until you actually turn 18 according to what you entered in the calendar. So I did that on purpose because I knew Tinder was toxic. I never used one. I used Catholic Match because I'm actually Catholic.
Okay, so you're gonna add that to your Catholic match account?
No. It's like, I really want an autistic, retarded man that's kind of half balding, has the Mossad Miles M hairline, who hangs out with like really dodgy Afghans. Yeah, no problem. This is my future husband. I want to bear my children. Hell no. Yeah,
you never know. You might find a woman.
I mean, to be fair, if I find a woman who likes me, I don't respect her because she has a bad taste in men. I don't trust her.
All right. So
it's a great interview, man.
Yeah. So you get arrested, held for 8 months. You make the best of friends.
Yeah, I actually make pancakes for these people too. So Pancake Day happens. Actually, I don't know when Pancake Day was.
Around?
I don't know what Pancake Day is, but I don't know what day it falls on.
You just told them. It's
Pancake
Tuesday.
No, I literally said it was. I literally said one day I woke up and I was like, it's Pancake Day. I don't know. I think it was in April or something. I don't know. So I'm going to be here maybe a year. So I was like, I'm just going to have one pancake.
How far you can push that? Oh, guys, it's Easter, so we're all going to go get chocolate.
No,
it's like December.
No, I was like, hey, they were like, what's Pancake Day, my friend? I was like, it's a religious holiday in England, very important, everyone does it. You basically just make pancakes and eat them. And they were like, we haven't tried pancakes before. I'm like, I'm going to make it for you, Taliban. You always cook for me, I'm going to cook for you this time. So I'm sitting in the Taliban kitchen. I'm like, let me work, let me cook. And I make a few stacks of pancakes, crepes. And I'm like, get some ice cream, And I'm like, here you go, man. They were like, mashallah, this is good stuff, Miles. I'm like, thank you, my friend. Thank you for cooking for me. I cook for you. We're brothers,
All right.
Yeah, it was chill, man. And also as well, I was sending myself money through crypto, which was allowed, because I was 10.
So you could go and buy stuff.
Yeah, I could buy stuff. And after $1,000 was looking to run out, I literally had an Xbox, which was cool, like an Xbox 360. So not an Xbox One, but I was just playing COD with them. It was chill, man. It was like I really pushed the definition of good time, At one point, I also renovated the rooms. I painted it, got new carpets and everything. Got new nice cushy beds as well. At one point too, I was also thinking about getting fairy lights, like some white girls sticking around the ceiling.
So we're running out of time because you have to go get the train pretty soon.
Yeah. Man.
So unfortunately, you have a million stories, I imagine. But we'll end it off with sort of getting towards your release, because I remember the last thing on our side was we were learning about all this stuff and being like, how is because people didn't believe what was really happening.
Yeah, so my friends was getting phone calls with me, and then they were tweeting it on Twitter. Or X, whatever it's called.
And people didn't really believe it. And
yeah,
they knew the truth, so I was like, nah, man, it's even more crazy than you think.
Yeah, it's like, how do they not believe Miles Routledge, the man who's delusionally optimistic and somehow can manifest everything positive going for him despite the circumstances of going to every single war zone over the last 2 years, not chill with the Taliban? It's like, why do people think I'm being tortured? I'm a Taliban, It's like, why do they have so little faith in me? I am Lord Miles. I am destined to either die at 107 years old by slipping on a banana peel or on North Central Island. I cannot physically get harmed anywhere else. It's just God has too much of a good sense of humour.
So that brings us on nicely to your release, which is, at that point, the last thing we heard is you were setting up a chicken farm.
So, I forgot about that.
And then you were just back in Dubai on the way home.
I'll talk to you about the chicken farm as well. So that's really important. This is one thing that went wrong. I want the press to know about this, by the way.
Is this because of Tim Paul? You figured out you need fresh eggs every day or something?
It's true, but I do need fresh eggs every day. So I like eggs, guys. I wanted to get huge in Taliban prison. I was asking around if steroids are legal. I was going to buy some. No joke. you see the photos actually got kind of big at that point. So I find out too, after a while I'm going to run out of some money. Why not just think like a businessman? And in the garden, in the driveway, why don't I just buy like 4 chickens and, breed them and stuff and get daily fresh eggs? Instead of buying the eggs themselves. And I submitted this for approval with the Taliban. And I was like, hey man, I want to be a humble everyday chicken farmer in Taliban prison. And they were like, okay Miles, we're going to look into it. So then he said, yeah, we can't do this, Miles, sadly. We use this driveway and it's a little bit of a hassle. And I said, it's so over. But then they said, oh,
but
Miles,
then you just... Wait, did someone come in and be like, oi, pack your bags, you're leaving?
Well, then they said, Miles, you can have as many eggs as you want. Why didn't you ask? I'm like, oh yeah, thank you. And I just had like 5 eggs a day. It was chill. I was going to go for 10, but I didn't want to push my luck, And plus, toilet would be horrendous.
Great.
And then one day they just come in and say, hey, my friend Miles. And I go, sup, man? And they go, hey, pack your stuff. You're leaving. I'm like, well, what's up? I was like, we're getting deported. And they were like, yeah. I was like, oh shit, man. I was like, middle of winter. I want to get deported in summer because at least I can leave with a sick tan. And they started laughing, oh, come on, you goofball.
You weren't massively excited to get back home?
No, I was just like, yeah, whatever. I was like, just had a lovely holiday. It's like, you know, there's positive and negatives. One, you have to deal with journalists. Yeah, cringe.
Lovely forced holiday.
Yeah, man. Yeah, like it was a mandatory, unexpected holiday.
All right.
Sure, man. Yeah, and the Taliban were like, "Hey, Miles, sorry about this situation. How was your time?" I was like, "Lovely holiday," and they was laughing at us stuff when I said that.
So you guys go to the airport and you're chatting?
Yeah, I'm just chatting with them, chilling with them. We had a convoy go with me in a bulletproof car. That was solid. Yeah, they gave me some gifts. They said, come back anytime. You seem chill. The other guys, I met them too, and they were like, hey, Bismarck, these guys are spies. You're right, but these guys are like MI6. I'm like... So that happened, and then I got released, and I've been FaceTiming with Taliban ever since.
Okay.
It's been like a week. I just sometimes call them. Yeah, so I think that's it, basically.
Well, we're running out of time, but we'll end it off with... so that's what you've been up to. The rest of us have been doing daily stuff. What is the future for you now? What's your plans?
Oh, we're definitely not getting a 9 to 5, let's be honest. So going back to Afghanistan for 3 weeks, I'm going to Tucker Carlson soon. Just had to get my American visa resorted because they thought, you know, hanging out with Taliban a little dodgy, but I talked it out to them. They're chill with me. So I go back to Afghanistan for 3 weeks. After that, I'm also going to tour abroad, you know, where the Bin Laden caves were. Then I'm going to the what's called Darien Gap, so that's real fun. And then Headless Valley in Canada, Lurs, Canada, which is, you know, a secret Canadian military base in the Arctic, 500 miles from civilization. But there's no fence, so they can't stop me. Also, eventually North Central Ireland. I just hope to go everywhere. You know what I mean?
You've got a billion ideas.
Yeah, I might even go somewhere dangerous, like France, maybe. You know.
Heaven forbid.
Yeah, I don't want to be French. I don't like the French, to be fair. I'm sorry if you're watching this, if you're French, but please stop being French. Yeah, we've moved past the need for France. You know, they're my enemy. Anyway, what
okay.
Yeah, you're gonna come with me on some of these. We can have great adventures. Callum and Miles, Rick and Morty.
A million years.
Million years. Yeah. We're gonna get tortured in Somalia or something.
All right. Well, this is probably one of the weirdest interviews. I'd love to talk to you more about what's going on with you, but
there's nothing going on up here, mate. I promise you.
But we're out of time, so hopefully this is fun. Do comment. I'll give it a read, of course.
If there's any women under 30 are watching this, call me.
Yeah, if there's any Christian women who would like a husband, there's one here. Otherwise, thank you. And
thank you guys, by the way. Genuinely, jokes aside, Cam's a lovely man. Go like his videos. And I think I'm a lovely man because I'm delusional and narcissistic, so please go follow my Twitter. Real Lord Miles, good stuff. Please buy my merch and my book. I need to pay rent. My landlord's really upset. I haven't paid rent for 8 months.
I think that's a pretty reasonable plug.
Yeah.
All right, so thank you. Well, there'll be more soon, hopefully.
Good stuff.
Bye-bye.
Bye.